If you're a woodworker like me, you probably have a ton of these leftover picket fence scraps from building all those planters this spring. And your cholesterol is probably higher than your credit score.
His blood, it's full of cholesterol.
Well, today's your lucky day because I'm going to show you how to turn these scraps into some woodworking art that you could sell for a big profit. Now let's get to building. So I got about 4 or 5 of these pickets left over. They're like 3.5 inches by 6 foot. And what am I going to do with them? Hold on to them till next year? These are going to be the background for my art. So I'm going to cut these pickets down into 9 20-inch sections. Now I'm going to use my stop fence on my miter saw so I can make sure I get the same 20 inches with each board. Okay, so now I'm just checking out my background, seeing how it came out, line them all up, putting the pieces where I want them to be, where I'm going to have them end. So I'm lining up the lighter pieces, like see these 2 lighter edges together, so it doesn't just stop. It almost looks like it kind of fades from one to the other. Give it that, what is that called? Wispy look in the clouds. I've seen some people stain these. You can stain them if you want. And then I'm going to have my cactus is going to be kind of like this. Now, if you just wanted to make it easy, look at that. That's the perfect size of a cactus. It's even rounded at the top. And also notice these planks are, I mean, they're different thicknesses. They're different shades. That, to me, is what gives the appeal to it. But if you wanted this to all be flat, you could glue it to where you have one side down, and then when you flipped it, the other side is going to be perfectly flat. So now I'm cutting the frame that's going to be around this. For the bottom, I'm going to use a 1x3, so it looks like the pot's kind of sitting on a shelf, maybe like a window shelf. And then the sides, I'm going to use a 1x2, and then they're going to butt up against each other like this. So now my boards are 20 inches wide. I have to cut the bottom windowsill 20 inches plus 1.5 inches to make up for these 2 1x2s. So it's going to be 21.5 inches for this bottom piece. The side frame is going to be 30 3/4 inches, and the top is going to be roughly the same as the bottom. Before I glue this up, I'm going to put down some parchment paper, the same parchment paper that you use for cooking and baking stuff, and it keeps the project from gluing to my workbench. So to glue these up, I just stood them all up. Then I ran a bead of glue down each board. Then I smoothed the glue out with my silicone glue brush so you get a nice even coating on there and not a lot of squeeze out. Then I laid all the boards back down in the same direction. Looks like I was doing dominoes for a second there. I took the 2 side frame pieces and I'm lightly clamping them onto this. That way it keeps the sides even as I'm gluing this up. Sometimes I would leave the pieces long, so that way when I'm done the glue up, I can cut down the edges to the size I want. But these I cut right to the dimensions I need them to be. And then I went redneck on these. Instead of using a board to keep it from bowing up, I just put some old rotors on top of it. Let me know in the comments if you've ever used an old rotor as a clamp. Now while the glue's drying on my background, I got out my table saw so I can cut up these pickets into the shapes that I need to make a cactus. My 1x3 is super happy because it's got a smile in it. Look at that. I might have to cut it down on the table saw. That's okay though. Gave me another opportunity to use my joiner jig. I want to cut my pickets to 2.5 inches. Now these pickets are different than the ones I use for the background. They're about 5 inches wide. So it's almost like cutting it in half to get to the 2.5 inches. I just have to trim a little bit off the second piece. I forgot to lock my fence on the second piece and it was slowly moving and I couldn't figure out why this piece was getting more narrow as I got to the end. Okay, so right now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to set up the cactus. I got these 2 for sides, and then this is going to be the middle. And I'm going to do the 2 sides green, a darker green, and the middle a lighter green, like it's the shiny spot in the center or something. And then I cut these pieces on with a 45 on each side to fit in here. And then these 2 are going to be my side arms, my 2 sides. I'm going to cut them, actually, you know, naturally I'm going to cut them down shorter. And then I got something interesting I'm going to do for the pot you'll see later. What do you guys think of that? I'm going to cut these to a size that I feel like is good. Maybe bring that down a little. Or maybe this one should go up higher and this one come down a little. I think I'm going to do something like that. Now the 2 pieces that are at a 45, I have to cut off a little of the 45 because when it's cut at an angle, it's wider than the board. So not a big deal. I'm just going to put it up against there and then mark it in place. Then I just got to cut that piece off. Okay, so I cut all my pieces down and I think this looks good right here. I think you guys are really going to like what I do with I got a really cool trick to do with the pot that it's going to be in. with some more scrap. And then these are gonna be like this. This one's gonna be here. What do you guys think? I almost don't want to stain it. I kind of want to leave it like that. I think that looks pretty good. But I think the green's gonna look pretty good too. So I'm gonna take the chance and I'm gonna stain it with the green. Here's a cut sheet I did for the cactus, so you guys can pause the video and write the numbers down or take a screenshot, whatever you feel like. But really, I mean, this is art, so the numbers are not set in concrete. So I mixed up this green with some water-based green stain. I got it from Home Depot. They mix it for you right there at the Home Depot. It's a forest green. I think mine went bad because you see can you see all the particles of pigment that have either dried up or, but it still is working, so I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna put a little bit of a yellow into it, see if I can get it to yellow up a little. Oops, oh, that might have been too much, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Look at that, I got it all over the stir stick. All right, cross your fingers, guys. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. The pickets are really rough, so they absorb the stain like a sponge. So they're gonna come out darker, and that's why I added a lot of water to it. This stuff's too rough to rub, so I gotta pat it. Pat the stain back off. Looks like I'm playing whack-a-mole. What do you guys think? Does that look good? So now this middle one I want to be lighter. So I'm gonna try to add some white stain to this and see if I can lighten it. Hopefully that comes out right. If not, if it comes out crappy, I'll just flip it in and do the other side. Now I'm just adding, you see that? Like a little bit on the teaspoon. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm just winging it at this point. Don't tell my wife I use 2 spoons. I'll be in trouble. All right, cross your fingers, guys. It looks lighter. Can't really tell the difference. Should I just leave it like that? Should I add some yellow to it? More yellow. What do you guys think? I'm gonna add more yellow. Now, what if I do it and it comes out darker? Yeah, screw it. Next time I do this, I'm gonna buy 2 different green stains, so I don't have to try to mix it like this. All right, let's try this again. Maybe I should add more water to it. Definitely more yellow. I mean, it's not as much of a difference as I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a lot more noticeable than that, but I don't know if you can notice it on film, but I noticed it. Maybe when it dries, it'll look a little bit more lighter. I ended up brushing it again with just water and then patting that water out of it, and that lightened it up a little bit more. Like I said, next time I'm just gonna do 2 different color green stains. So normally I would sand the frame down like I do everything else, but I'm trying to keep it with that rustic look. It has like some scratches in it already. So I want to see how it looks with the black stain. Idiot move coming in 1, 2, 3. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay, my picture is ready to assemble. You see, I got all this stuff here. Let me show you the stuff I do that takes up 75% of my time when I'm building stuff. My pin nailer, I usually have it hanging here by the compressor. I took it off of there, right? I got my hose out. Where the hell did I set that air nailer? My pin nailer, where is it? It is no, I just found it. Sorry, never mind. Why would I set it there? I'm not even using anything over there. Sorry. So I wanted to use a piece of baseboard as the pot, but I didn't want to make it just flush like this. I wanted to make it more 3D and have the pot stick it out past it like this. But in order to do that, I'm gonna have to cut these corners at a 45 and return them back with a small piece on each side. I don't know if that's gonna be worth the trouble that I'm going through for this, but I'm gonna give it a try anyways, at least on this prototype, to see how it comes out. So to do that, I need to cut both sides at a 45. Figure out how long I need to make these little returns. I'm just gonna put my base up against the other base and mark it in place. Put your base on your base and mark it in place. I just made up a freaking song already. Look at that. I can just measure that, which is gonna be an odd measurement, or I can just set my multi-square to it, which I think is what I'm gonna do. What would the lazy guy do? That's what I'm gonna do. Ta-da! So now I can place this on my piece that I wanna cut and mark it. All right, so my first cut, it's a little high, you see? I have to push this and it pushes it away a little bit. That's okay, I can either hit it up with the sander on the other side or just cut a new one smaller. That's too small to really get my fingers in there at the bands, at the whatever, miter saw. Okay, so I got all my pieces ready to go. It's time to just start putting this thing together. I'm gonna start with the frame. Now right now I'm applying glue to the edge of the background, but I got my camera too low and you can't see it. I'm no Steven Spielberg, that's for sure. Once I got glue on both sides, I just put the 2 side frames on and clamped it together.
Then I nailed the side frames on with 1.25" brad nails. I kept having a problem with my nail gun jamming. I don't know what was going on. You can actually hear it jamming right here. So after I got my nail gun working again, I just repeated that process for the bottom and top frame pieces also.
Now I gotta figure out where the cactus is gonna go.
If you guys like this build, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up on the video and leave a comment.
Almost did the pot the wrong way. You guys saw me just put this on here free-handed. I almost have it perfectly in here.
This guy's good. Yeah, he's good. Nasty.
So now that I got the cactus exactly where I wanted, I measured it, made sure it was centered. I'm gonna lift up each piece, put some glue, and then pin nail it back down.
I should have probably started with the main body, then did all the small stuff. I'm gonna make sure that didn't move when I picked it up.
There's actually another piece that I got for this picture, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to use it or not. And you guys let me know if you like it. I'll show you in just a minute when I put it on. I glued and nailed the baseboard pot separately, and then I nailed it onto the rest of the picture. I don't know whether to call this a picture or a woodworking art. What should I call this?
I got this kit of wall hangers on clearance at Walmart. I'm gonna use 2 of these to hang it on the wall. They come with the screws and everything. I'm gonna use 2 because this thing has a little bit of weight to it. For the hooks, I'm gonna measure down 3 inches, then punch it. I'm gonna pre-drill it. I put it upside down.
He's dumb.
Bought a pack of these flowers on Etsy that I might put on here. You guys let me know what you think. I'm not sure because I don't know if they're gonna turn out right. But cactuses sometimes have flower, and I think it would give it a little pop of color. What do you guys think? Do the flowers make it look cheesy? There's a pink one, there's a white one. The white looks really washed out on the video, but it's not that bad. If I put like a, can you see? It looks more wood than white. What do you guys think? Should I not put any flowers or leave it like it is? My family didn't like that pink, so I'm gonna use some acrylic paint instead because it didn't even come out transparent anyways as a stain, so might as well just use the paint so I can have a wider range of colors.
Okay, here's some of the colors I tried. What one do you think I went with?
I've seen a lot of different versions of these cactuses online, and some people would put nails like this and they'd have them sticking out all over it. My wife's bringing this one to work to hang it at her work, and she didn't want a bunch of nails sticking out of it to scrape her while she was trying to hang it, so I didn't put them on this one. But if you want to put them on yours, go ahead.
So I went with a white flower with a yellow center. I don't know what that center part of the flower is called, the flower hump, whatever. But I went with that, and then I'm just using wood glue and some CA glue to attach them to the cactus.
Well, bam! What do you guys think? I call it cacti from the fat guy.